If you're looking for a delicious recipe for the big game this weekend, you might want to try my cheesy sausage dip. It's lighter than you think. So I started making this dip for my husband when he would go to Philadelphia Eagles games. We're huge tailgate fans, love having a fun party before the game. And this was one of those recipes that he said, can't you make some kind of a sausage dip? So there are a lot of sausage dips out there, but what I was shocked by was the amount of fat and calories and cholesterol in so many of those recipes. And I thought there has to be a way where I can just do some simple supermarket swaps and find ways to lighten it up. And so that's exactly what I've done here. So as you can see, not many ingredients, which I love because it's a quick and easy dip. Basically, you're making it on your stovetop. You could eat it right from there, but I do like to put it in the oven with a little extra cheese on top just to let it get bubbly and good. But the ingredients that I'm using here, here's how I've swapped things out. Normally for this recipe, you're using a full-fat sausage that you're having to cook yourself, right? These are in the section where you find bacon and your other types of prepackaged deli meats. They're pre-cooked turkey sausage crumbles. So one less thing you have to do when you're making this recipe, they're already the perfect size for the dip and they still have tons of flavor. The cream cheese, I just swapped from a full fat cream cheese to one with 1/3 less fat. And then the cheddar cheese is a 2% fat cheese. So again, I still get the creamy flavor of a sharp cheddar. I just don't have as many fat calories. And then we'll talk about those diced tomatoes and green chilies in just a second. So to make this dip, here's what you're gonna need to do. Super easy. Basically, we're dumping and stirring and waiting for it to melt. Don't you love recipes like that? So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start by putting in the sausage. And that's one full package of the sausage crumbles. And then I have 1 brick of the cream cheese, which again is the 1/3 less fat. I like to have it already softened. Just makes it a little bit easier. Then we're gonna take, it's about 3/4 of a cup of cheddar cheese. And again, reduced fat cheddar. And then here's where you can have fun with this recipe. So I love the Rotel brand of diced tomatoes and green chilies. A story for another day. The first time I ever had Rotel was when I was in college with a dip with Brad Pitt. A story for another day, but true. Anyway, so the Rotel diced tomatoes and green chilies now come in all different sort of heat levels. Because the turkey sausage is a little mild, I like to use the Rotel diced tomatoes and habanero peppers. Now don't freak out. It's not going to be like burn your face off hot, but because there's cream cheese in this recipe, that sort of softens the heat of the habaneros and it really gives it good flavor. If you just do not like hot and spicy food, then use the mild version of Rotel. No problem, no judgment here. I just like that you have the ability to sort of, make that whatever you want. So basically, I'm just going to sort of heat this up. Just takes a couple of minutes as the cream cheese starts to melt, as the cheddar cheese starts to melt. You do want to keep all of the liquid, by the way, from the Rotel, because I think that little extra bit of juiciness also makes up for the lower fat ingredients that you're using. You still want a little bit of that creaminess, and I feel like the juice from the Rotel mixed in with the cream cheese really does that for you. All right, once everything is all melty and good together, oh, this looks so good. Such a good dip. Turn off my heat. I'm gonna put this in a kind of a shallow baking pan. All this yummy, cheesy, flavorful goodness. Just spread it neatly into your pan. And then I like to top it off with just a little bit of extra cheese. I know it's supposed to be a little bit lower fat. You don't have to do this. I don't do a ton, but I just think a nice sprinkle of cheese on top. Nobody ever complains. All right, we're gonna put this into the oven for just about 15-20 minutes or so. We want it to be a little bit bubbly. We want that cheese to get brown, and then it will be time to dive in. So our yummy sausage dip is done. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. I did put it underneath the broiler for just a couple minutes to get that cheese all nice and brown and bubbly. And then once you put this out, then the question is, what are you going to serve with it? Traditionally, you can use, tortilla chips. The little scoop kinds are great. But if you're also trying to cater to those people who are doing low carb or no carb, these are great dips to serve with slices of cucumber. You can do some of those little mini sweet peppers. In fact, I've even used this before and used it as a stuffing in jalapeno halves. Make sure you get all the seeds dug out. That's where the heat is. But if you do that, then you don't want to use the juice from the Rotel. You want the mixture to be a little thicker. But if you smear that in the inside of jalapeno halves and then bake those are delicious bites as well. One of the greatest things about this recipe is that it's decadent, it's gooey, it's cheesy, and it's lower in fat than its traditional counterpart. So I hope the next time you have a gathering, whether it's for the big game or it's just having friends over or you want to do something different on the weekends with your family, I hope you'll give my lightened up version of sausage dip a try. And if you're looking for more recipes, be sure to check out my website at justjill.com. I have tons of recipes for you there from all different categories, from appetizers to main courses and lots of desserts. I'm a girl who has a sweet tooth. And if you could subscribe while you're here on my YouTube channel, I'd love that too. Enjoy!